So you see, baby Hugga, that's what happened in chapter 6. Do you have anything to say? Nothing. Maybe another time. Some of these members of Hugga's family, they're quite different. They either talk all the time or they don't talk at all. Oh, hey! Hey, boys and girls, I'm so glad that you're here. Just reading out of my very extra large Bible, a story to baby Hugga. Maybe you saw that she came to visit over Christmas. Well, she's back and not saying a whole lot. So, I don't know, maybe Hugga can help. She did travel from far away, so that's why she's wearing a mask. So maybe that's why she's not really into the talkative mood. But anyway, speaking of, have you guys seen Hugga? I know it's very like her to just kind of, show up unexpectedly at any time, at any place, at any moment whatsoever. I was just wondering if you happen to see her. Wait a second. What's that behind you? Oh, that's not her. Why would she be there with you, right? I mean, that would be strange. Unless maybe she is. Wait. Is there something behind that chair over there? No, over there. No, the other way. No? Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just a matter of, maybe, should I call her? Let's see. Hugga? You in here somewhere?
Ah!
Whoa. You are here, Hugga. Where did you come from?
Good question. Maybe we'll talk about that another time.
You don't want to tell us right now? Isn't that kind of mysterious?
I am mysterious. In fact, I am the most mysterious Hugga you will ever meet in your whole entire life.
This is absolutely true because I don't think we'll ever meet another Hugga like you. Or any Hugga, in fact.
Oh, there's lots of Huggas. There's Grandma Hugga and Baby Hugga. Baby Hugga, what are you doing over there? Hi. Hello? Has she said anything to you?
No, nothing at all.
Nothing at all?
Nothing at all.
Hi, just a second. Are you sure?
I'm positive she hasn't spoken at all.
Is she hungry?
I don't know.
Is she tired?
I don't know.
Did she lose her voice?
Have you actually ever heard her talk?
Now that you mention it, no, I've never heard her talk. Actually, I don't even know much about her. Hi. You know what? Maybe she's just a really good listener. And she's really good at playing statue.
I think so, because she's not moving at all.
Is she alive? Hello? She did move and she made a sound! Oh! Good. I'm so glad you're alive. Ha 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 ha.
Yes. All right. Well, baby Hugga, do you want to stay and listen to the story, or do you need to go lie down? You might be a little tired.
Hello? Baby Hugga? Hello?
Maybe she's tired. Here. Come here, baby Hugga.
Ah.
Oh,
What?
she just made a sound.
Ah.
Oh, she made another sound. Oh, apparently she wanted to walk away. Okay, all right.
Maybe she'll come back. Baby Hugga, wait a second. Where are you going?
She's heading to the kitchen.
To the kitchen. Why?
Well, maybe she's hungry.
Wait a second. Uh-oh.
What?
I think she just went and ate all the Lucky Charms.
Oh, she likes Lucky Charms?
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to get more.
Yep, a lot. That's all she eats is Lucky Charms.
Oh. Well, we'll definitely have to replenish our stock then.
Yeah, so what's this about a story you're talking about?
It's in the book of Daniel.
It's not Noah.
Nope, not Noah.
Jonah. No. That's in the book of Genesis.
No, actually Jonah's in the book of Jonah.
He has his own book?
Yeah.
Oh. Does everybody get their own book in the Bible?
Some of them.
Like who else?
Well, like Esther, the queen.
Oh.
And Ruth.
Huh?
And, well, then there's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and they each tell stories that included them in them.
Is there a book of Hugga?
Book of Hugga? No, not in the Bible. What? You weren't there when the Bible was written. When God gave the inspiration to these different people to write the Bible, you weren't there.
I should have been.
You should have been.
I would have been the first book.
Actually, Genesis is the first book that is in the Bible now. It talks about creation, and of course Noah's Ark is in there.
Noah doesn't have his own book?
Nope, but he's in there.
Huh. Well, apparently he wasn't important enough.
Oh, he was important. It's just where God had him. So the book that we're going to talk about today with the story is actually in the Old Testament, and the book is called Daniel. And it's about the person named
David.
No.
Timothy.
No.
Samson.
No.
This is hard. This is really challenging.
Daniel. It's about Daniel. The book of Daniel is about the life of Daniel.
You could calm down. That was a little harsh.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's about Daniel.
That's better.
So Daniel, here we see that he's been in this city of Babylon for quite a long time.
Wait a second, what did you say?
I said Daniel's been in Babylon for quite a long time.
That doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Because Babylon is where babies are.
I didn't say Babylon, I said Babylon.
Yeah, but it's spelled Babylon.
So how old do you think Daniel is?
He's got to be only like 1 or 2.
No.
Because babies, you know, they're toddlers when they're like 2 or 3. So if he's a baby, he's got to be really young. I mean, this is a really young story. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? When Daniel had, you know, his first word, hi, hi, hi. No, that can't be it at all.
No. Daniel is, the city where he was in was Babylon. Not called Babylon. Not full of babies. Babylon.
Okay, so how old was he?
Well, he had to have been around 70 years old.
What? He's an old guy?
He's definitely older, yes, for sure. 70 years old. So he's been in this city for a long time. Remember when he was only 16 or 17, he was taken captive and brought to this place, but not to be a prisoner, like chained up and put in a prison. He was actually brought there to become a wise man, someone that was taught and instructed all the ways of that land. He was brought there, he was chosen and selected because he was seen for being someone very smart and intelligent and capable of learning some very important things. And when they brought him there, he grew to be such a wise person that the Bible tells us that he stood out. So much so that these other guys that were not from where he was from, they were from Babylon, they were also in the same position as him. But because he had learned so much and had decided to be so set apart for God, that he stood out.
Huh? He was tall?
No.
Handsome?
No.
Had an ugly nose?
No. He was exceptional. He had done some things in his life to stand out for what was right, for what God wanted him to do. And because of that, God blessed him with wisdom and understanding, and he was able to help the king at many times to interpret a dream, to give him meaning and direction to help his country. It was pretty fantastic, all the things that Daniel had been allowed to do. But we see that there's always someone that wants to think something bad of someone good.
Like you.
What do you mean?
You're good.
Right.
And sometimes I wish I had your hair.
You wish you had my hair? Well, your hair's pretty cool, though.
I know, but your hair is like, whoa, curly. My hair is just cool. You know, like, cool.
I'm sure that, Hugga, you're very unique and wonderful in your own way.
Aw. Thanks. I'm sure all the kids out there want to look just like me. Is she doing something behind me? Really, you would tell me, right? Continue.
Okay. So Daniel, he was here, and as we see, these other guys, they didn't really like Daniel. They were jealous of him. When someone's jealous of someone else, they either want exactly what they have or they want to put them down and make them feel really bad. Well, these guys, they didn't just want to make Daniel feel bad. They wanted to get rid of him. In fact, they devised a plan. But there was a problem with their plan because they wanted to find something wrong with Daniel, something that he did wrong or bad or against the king. And guess what they found?
He didn't brush his teeth.
No. They couldn't find anything.
Nothing?
Nothing.
You mean he walked his dog?
I don't know if he had a dog.
You mean he rode his mommy?
I don't know if he was allowed to do that.
He didn't clean his room?
No, I'm pretty sure he cleaned his room.
He wore stinky socks?
I don't even think he wore socks back then. It was probably just sandals.
I know!
What?
There was nothing wrong with him.
Well, I'm sure he had done some wrong things, but there was nothing wrong that they could find to put him away or to get rid of him. In fact, the only thing that these other leaders in this country could find was that he had a very special relationship with God.
Oh, so it's gonna be like that.
And in fact, that's the only thing they could think of. So we see that Daniel prayed to God 3 times a day. And in fact, he would go and he would open his windows and he would pray and worship him and thank him for his blessings. Well, that's the only thing that these guys could come up with, that he had a relationship with God. And so they thought of a very specific way to get rid of Daniel once and for all. They proposed something to the king at that time. The king's name was Darius.
He was a dairy farmer?
No, he wasn't a dairy farmer. Darius.
Dairy.
Darius.
Dairy. Us.
Yes. And the king was, he trusted his advisors. And these other 2 advisors that came before him, they had a proposition for the king. They said, "Your Majesty, we would like to, for the next 30 days, make it that no one can worship or pray to any other god but you. Because, Your Majesty, you are worthy of worship and worthy of all praise." Now, if we have a leader in a country, like a king or a queen, they are definitely due the honor and respect of their people, in a sense that they are supposed to obey their laws and follow their rules and things that they establish. But nowadays, I know there is a queen in England, and we have a president, and there are other leaders of our states, governors, and we have mayors, and there are, I'm sure, kings and queens of other countries. But we're not supposed to worship them like they're God. Worship them like they've created all things and that they are holy and perfect.
No.
But that's exactly what these men wanted for the people in the land to do. Now remember, this is a land where they didn't worship the real living God. They worshipped idols.
Oh, like this?
Like what?
Okay.
What is that?
This.
What is this?
An idol.
That's not an idol.
It's a statue.
It's a fuzzy chipmunk?
Yeah. Almighty chipmunk. Oh. 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 Yes.
Okay. Yes, so that's maybe a strange example, but maybe effective for the kids to remember. But what they would do is they would go and they would worship these statues, these idols, and they would pray to them, and they would give them sacrifices and gold and food and all kinds of things. And sometimes they would even, they would give them their animals and all kinds of things.
Wait a second. It's not gonna work.
What'd you do that for?
Well, it's an animal. I'm not gonna worship an animal.
Okay, yes. So they did. They would worship these other idols. But Daniel did not. And we see that these men, that's what they came up with. They didn't think the king would quite understand what their plan was. So they thought it was perfect. It was perfect. We're going to get rid of Daniel. And then we'll never have to deal with him again. Because you know what the problem was? Daniel was being honored, lifted up. He was going to be the leader of them all. He was going to be a whole bunch of importance in the land. He was going to be given power. And they didn't want that.
No. This cannot be. We will do away with him. Yes, we will. Ah, ha, ha.
And so they devised this plan. They said, King Darius, for the next 30 days, no one can worship or pray to any god but you. Here's the document. Sign it. Right there.
Right there. X marks the spot.
And he did. He didn't think anything about it. He just thought it was the better way for, the people in his country to honor him and love him. Well, Daniel did find out about this, but he wasn't going to hide who he was. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He loved God. He was trying to obey and worship him and praise him. And sometimes, boys and girls, it is not popular to praise God. It is not popular to worship God and to proclaim his name and to be the only person doing right. But do you know that it is absolutely always the right thing to do? To praise God, to love him, to witness, to shine for Jesus. And Daniel decided that he was going to worship and honor his God the same way he always did. Now, he didn't do it boastfully. He didn't go, well, open the windows. God, I love you. God, I praise you. He didn't shout it and try to draw attention to himself. What he did was he honored God the same way, with respect and love. And he worshiped him and prayed. Well, of course, those guys, they'd been waiting. And as soon as they saw that Daniel was going to pray,
they burst into the room and they took him and they said, "You're arrested." Dun, dun, dun.
And that is exactly what they did. They had the guards take him away. Now, there was a part of this little proclamation we haven't mentioned yet, because you see, there was a punishment. Sure, you weren't allowed to do this, but if you were caught worshiping someone else, worshiping another person, God, not the king, then you would be taken and thrown into a lion's den. Ah! That's right, into a den full of hungry lions. And they made sure not to feed these lions on a regular basis, so they'd be plenty hungry when an unsuspecting person was thrown down into the pit. And then they would have a nice little snack, or breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And as Daniel was taken away, these guys, they were so happy. Well, the king heard, and he came rushing because he respected Daniel. He couldn't believe that Daniel would do this. And he said, "Daniel, I hope that your God will protect you." And I think Darius did mean that. I think the king actually didn't want any harm to come to Daniel. And he didn't realize probably that what he had done was the reason why Daniel was being punished. Well, of course, we see that Daniel was taken. They took him, and they took him over the pit.
Hey, wait a second.
And they opened the lid.
Where am I going?
And then they threw him down into the pit.
Ah!
And as he was in that pit, I can only imagine what was going through his mind.
I know what I'd be thinking.
And we see that Daniel was down there, and he was looking all around him. And it was probably very dark. But I'm sure he could hear those low growls. And I'm sure that as he was kind of feeling around in the dark, he felt some hair. And as he felt that hair, I'm sure it wasn't a little cute puppy or a kitten. It was a lion. And Daniel was down there. Now, God could have just let him be eaten. But we know that God is not that type of God. And the fact that he would just desert Daniel. Daniel did right. He dared to do right, even when it wasn't the easy choice. Well, as Daniel was down there in the lion's den, we see that an angel, the angel of the Lord, came and he silenced those lions. He made it so that they were not going to eat Daniel. And in fact, the angel of the Lord came and he made those lions to feel really sleepy.
This is what he did.
What did he do?
Watch. He descended from heaven and he said, "Go to sleep, little lions. Go to sleep, little cats. Close your eyes and your big sharp teeth and mouth. Go to sleep, little lions. I don't want to hear you cry. It's time for you to go to bed after this sweet lullaby."
And the lions fell asleep. I don't know if that's what the song was, but they fell asleep. And in the morning, the king rushed out to the pit. He had the guards remove it. And Daniel had spent the night with these lions. Maybe he had a good night's sleep, comfortable next to these warm, stuffed animals in fact. And as the king called down, he said, Daniel, did your God save you? Daniel. And the king, I don't think he was really surprised when he heard a response. That Daniel said, "Yes, I'm okay." Well, the king said, "Hurry, guards, take him out." And when the king began to get a little bit wiser, he did discover that these other men, they had devised this plot to just destroy Daniel. And it had nothing to do with really the king at all. So, unfortunately, those lions did get a snack later on.
That's right, those bad guys got what was coming to them. Good riddance.
Well, yeah, it wasn't pleasant, and we shouldn't wish ill on anyone.
Well, I don't wish anybody to get eaten by a lion, but those guys deserved it.
Okay.
And those lions were hungry. Good kitty.
Okay, so yes, they did. Those lions had a snack based on those guys because their selfishness and their jealousy overtook them. You know, I'm not saying you're going to get eaten by a lion.
Which could happen.
Very rare possibility that could happen. Okay, so don't worry about that. But
it still could happen.
Probably not. Very low percentage of that happening.
But still.
Hugga.
What?
I don't want these kids to think a lion's going to eat them.
Good point. Just kidding, kids. No lions whatsoever.
Good. But remember, if you're jealous of your friend or even someone that you don't even know, and you have thoughts against them that are unkind or wish them ill, then that's not going to help you. In fact, that's only going to eat away at your heart. And see, those guys, they had a heart condition. First off, they didn't know God. They didn't love him. They didn't let him speak love and life into their hearts. And because of that, they foolishly depended upon their own devices and plotted against someone that was doing right and that loved God with all his heart. Boys and girls, we don't want anything like that to ever happen to you, where you receive a punishment or consequences because you were jealous of someone or because you wanted to do something unkind to someone else. We need to stand up like Daniel and dare to do what's right, even in the midst of a lion's den, even in the midst of others that don't care for you. The Bible tells us that God works all things to good all things for good to them that love him according to his purpose. You know, we see that Hugga, she laughs a lot about the lion's den.
Ah, that was so funny. Ha 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 ha.
But it was a very true story. How incredible it sounds. God protected Daniel when he did what was right. If you do right, remember who always is watching and caring for you, and that's God. And as we see this story of Daniel, may we be encouraged to do what is right, no matter the consequence, no matter the fact that we may be the only one by ourselves doing what's right. And may we remember that God honors us for our right decisions, but then there are also consequences for when we do not do what is right. Well, Hugga, I think we better go check on your little cousin, baby Hugga.
Yes, she is. Wow.
What?
I think I see her.
What?
There's a trail of Lucky Charms coming from the kitchen.
Oh.
Oh, no, wait.
What?
There's also a lake of milk.
Milk? What? Where did the milk come from?
I don't think she is very good at pouring milk.
Oh, great. Well, I guess we gotta go clean that mess up. But remember, boys and girls, dare to be a Daniel this week. And remember that God loves you so much.
And so does Hugga!
That's right. And so does Hugga. See you next time.
Bye!
Next time!
Next time on Hugga's house!
Hugga's house, I like that.
Yeah, I just made it up.
That's good, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, gotta go.
I guess I better go too.
Hello? So, Chipmunk. You can talk? Hello? Hi. What's your name?